Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Building a SaaS, where we are going to sit down and build a SaaS in a half an hour a day. The SaaS that we are building is called Fancy Bar, and this is a website that allows you to add this nice little fancy bar pop-up. It's kind of like a call to action on your website, so it'll pop down or pop up from the website. So the website is called Fancy Bar that we are building out, and we are using a software as a service starter kit called Wave. So if you go to devdojo.com/wave, you can actually use the same script to build out your own software as a service. So let's jump back in where we left off in the last video. So in the last video, we just manually created some bars and added them to the database, and they don't really do much right now, but we do want to add the ability to create a new bar. And I think before I create a new bar, usually the best thing to do is to show the user some templates. So if you say create a new bar and you have an input that says like name and then have a drop down of like different templates, it's not really gonna, it's not a great user experience. It would be better to say create a new bar, and then on here it has a bunch of thumbnails of different bar designs. So I think first what we need to do is create these thumbnails or these images for each of our bars. And instead of like taking a screenshot and then storing it somewhere, we are going to use a screenshot script that we can basically call a URL, and then it'll take a snapshot and it will save it as an image. So we created this URL a few videos back where we go to bar/001 and it shows the first bar. Then we have 002, 003, and so on. So the only bad thing about these bars is it doesn't have anything on the website. So we probably want to have a little placeholder here that kind of looks like a web application. So you can say kind of like demo the bar here. What we could do is we could even take like the home page of Fancy Bar and maybe even put it inside of this design. Let me see what that might look like. So I'm going to go to this in an incognito window, because if I'm already logged in, it's just going to redirect me to the dashboard. So I could use this, or I could maybe even just find a simple design and put it right here as the kind of background, and then we could take a snapshot of that. So I think I'm going to do that with the Tails project. So if I go to devdojo.com/tails, I can go here to say create or launch the app, and I can add some of these nice Tailwind CSS templates here. So I think I'll probably just select one. We'll use this, and then we also need a logos. So we'll also have logos down here. I think that might even be good enough. Let's see what else we could add here. So we could add a header. Maybe not on that one. Could add some features, but I do kind of want like a square design, so I think that this might just do right here. So how about I just go ahead and copy this HTML, and I'm going to go into that specific file. So if I go to resources, views, I think we had themes, tall stack, and we had bars. And this is where each of the bar designs are, but I think we have an actual bars.blade.php right here. And what does this one do? Yeah, this is the one where we can actually go to /bars and we can view each one of them. So we click on 001 and it shows us that. Let's see, bar, say 003. So let's see where this one goes to. So usually if I can't remember exactly which file it is, I usually have to trace that back from the routes web.php, and we said that that went to bar/num, that went to the bar controller and the show method. So we would go to the bar controller, and the show method has theme layouts.bar. So we know that's inside of the theme folder, layouts, and bar.blade.php. So we're just including the file right there. Let's go ahead and just paste this HTML here. And I actually want to wrap this whole thing. I'm going to say class equals wfull, hfull, actually wscreen, hscreen, and I want this to be flex, and then I want to center all of that content. So I'm going to say I want this to be flex, justify-center, and items-center. I just love Flexbox. I was really hesitant to use Flexbox for the longest time, and I would still use that old trick where you had to absolutely position something inside of a relative container and do the top by 50%. And that was just a nightmare. I don't know why I did that for so long. And ever since Tailwind, I've just started using Flexbox all over the place, and it just makes your life so much easier. Okay, so we've got that there. Let's go ahead and take a look. And I actually want this to be flex column. So instead of flex, we want them to sit on top of each other. So flex col. Okay, and that looks pretty good, but I do want to have this maybe full width. And you know what? I could actually maybe include the bar. No, maybe I don't want to include the bar inside of this. Yeah, so we have BGW white, max W screen XL. Let me change this to, yeah, this should be W full. Let's see why it's not doing the full width. There we go. Okay, so now we have this kind of layout that we can use to take a snapshot. So we could actually resize the browser, and we could, you know, maybe we want to have it like be like a certain width. Like this one actually looks pretty good. So if I open up developer tools, I can see what that width and height is. So let me pop this out. And now if I resize, I should be able to see exactly what that width and height is. So it looks like probably do 1080 by, what would that be? Actually want to get the gray to be the bottom right here, so 770 might even work. Yeah, I think that would be a pretty good screenshot size. So let me see what that was again. I think I said 1080 by 770. Okay, so let me go ahead and just store that real quick. I said 1080 by 770. Okay, so that is going to be the size of the screenshot that we want to take. So we're going to have 001, 002, and so on. And I wonder if all these screenshots, yeah, it's not going to be perfect. Let me change that to 1080 by 760. See what might still look good there. Actually, let's do 750. Oh, cancel. Okay, so we have kind of like a, you know, design here for a website. I could even change this to, you know, hello fancy bar, and then change up the text just so it kind of resonates more with our application. And so that way it doesn't take up, you know, it's kind of taking up a lot of, like it takes your eye away from the bar. So I may actually dim a lot of this. So maybe instead of the blue, maybe I'll just choose our kind of dark black or gray. So let me modify that. How about I say, hello fancy bar. Let me see what this looks like. Yeah, it looks pretty good. So like I said, I don't want to have that blue. We'll do like blue 900. Yeah, and then I can change the same for the buttons, and then I may want to change the opacity of this image just so it doesn't pop so much. So I can say opacity, maybe I'll try 50. Yeah, that's pretty good. You know, I could even do opacity 50 for the whole page. That might look pretty nice. And let me put that blue back here. Let me try this. Let me do opacity -50. Now if I reload, yeah, the whole thing is kind of grayed out, and that looks pretty good because now you can really see what the bar looks like. Let me see. I'm going to modify maybe this design a little bit. Yeah, maybe we don't want such a large padding top. So let's say PB of 24 and PT of 10. Okay, and that looks better, and that's because I do want to say 1080 by even 700 might look good. Yeah, so that's going to be the new size, 1080 by 700. Okay, so that looks good. We can take a screenshot of each of these and get a nice little thumbnail of what each bar is going to look like. So what I probably want to do is I probably want to use a screenshot tool of my own. There's a bunch of APIs out there, but there's a specific Laravel snapshot tool. I think it's made by Spady. Let me see, DB snapshots. Maybe it was a website snapshot. Yeah, browser shot, yep. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just include this in my project. So let me go back to the packages page. Sorry, you might hear my daughter in the background. Okay, so I'm going to do composer require and require browser shot in this project. Oh man. Okay. There we go. So let's go ahead and include this. And I'm drinking some chai tea today. Chai tea is pretty good. Okay, so we have that installed. Let's go ahead and use it. And this package is really cool. I've used it a few times before. It makes it super easy. You can see you can do like browser shot URL. So we can just pass the URL of that bar and click on save, and we can save it to wherever we want in the application. So we have Spady browser shot. So we need to use that. So I think I'm probably just going to create a route that I can hit that it will then take a snapshot. And this is only going to be available to say like admins. Like I'm going to make sure that I prevent access so that way not everybody can go there and just generate these snapshots. So I'm going to go to my routes web.php. And I'll just create a new get route, call it bar. We will call it snapshot. How about we say browser shot? And then we pass in the number of the bar. This way we know which bar that we want to take a snapshot of. So say bar controller at browser shot. Okay, so let's go to that controller. And I'm going to create that method. So public function browser shot. And we need to include that namespace up here. So we'll include browser shot. And let's go ahead and let's just test this out. How about we say browser shot, and we want to pass our current URL, and then it's going to be bar/001. So that's the URL that we want to take a snapshot of, and then we want to save this to a specific path. So let me see what they recommend here. I'm not sure exactly where that's going to go by default. I think that's going to find our, inside of our .env, what storage that we have set by default. So the best way to figure that out is just to save this as screenshot.jpg. And I actually do like the name screenshot instead of browser shot, so I'm going to rename that. Let's go routes web.php. Okay, so let's go ahead and give this a try. We're going to go to /snapshot. Nope, I didn't say snapshot. What did I say? Screenshot. Okay. Screenshot /001. And this actually should just take a snapshot of the first one because I had that hard coded. Okay, so we went ahead and did that. Let's look inside of our folders. So we'll say public storage. I do not see it anywhere. Oh, there it is. Okay, so maybe that just stored it directly in our public folder. Hey, look at that. Although it's kind of messed up because we didn't tell it which the width and the height that we want it to be saved at. So let's look at the documentation real quick. And we can pass the width and the height, I'm pretty sure somewhere. How about I just search for width? Yeah, there we go. Clip, wait for function. Sizing the PDF, no. Huh, that's weird. Okay, I don't think we really want to clip. I guess we could say, yeah, maybe, okay, window size, there we go. Window size, fit, contain. Let's just go ahead and change the window size to the window size that we had specified. Where are we at? I'm blanking here. What am I doing? Okay. Changing the browser shot inside of the bar controller. Going to change the width and the height. And we said we wanted this to be 1080 by 700. So we'll say 1080 by 700. And the good thing about setting this up is because if we ever wanted to change maybe the way that the design looks on the background or the width, we could maybe just run through a script and it could regenerate all of these thumbnails for us. And these are just going to serve as templates, so we can create a bunch of different templates and then people will be able to modify it just based on different settings and how they want it to look on their website. So we'll save that and let's take a snapshot again. Okay. Boom. Let's look inside of our public folder. Screenshot. Nice. That's looking really good. I like that. So this is going to be like a preview. Imagine this being, like a little thumbnail on the website right next to all the other ones so you can see what that specific bar is going to look like before you start designing it. So now that we have that one, I need to find a place that I want to store this. So maybe I want to store this inside of my storage folder. And then I'm wondering why we have this bars folder. Oh, that's right. I think we stored some of our graphics inside of there. And later on, we're going to set this up so that it works on Amazon S3. So that way our images are not actually stored in our project folder, because it's just kind of a bad practice. Usually you want your code to stay, as small as possible, and then you can store this on your GitHub. You don't want to have a bunch of images and assets junking up your code and all the files that are on GitHub. So it's always good to have a separate place for storage, such as Amazon S3. So we have that there. Maybe I can just create a new folder and just call this screenshots. Or I could always just say thumbnails. Okay. So I want this to go to the storage folder. So save to, I always forget the shorthand for this is that storage URL? I don't remember. To the Laravel docs we go. vel.com/docs storage URL. I think actually I want to look for helpers. Okay, yeah. App path, config path, storage _ path is what I wanted. Okay, so storage path, and then let's just save this under, what did we say? Thumbnails/screenshot. Let's give this a try. Alrighty, it's not finding that location. Storage, thumbnail, screenshot. Okay. Public storage. So storage URL. Fancy bar. So it's trying to store it inside of sites. Fancy bar storage, but there is no storage there. So you know what? Maybe we'll say public _ path /storage /thumbnails /screenshot. Okay, let's try this now. There we go. Okay, so inside of our thumbnails, and now we have that screenshot. So we probably want to name this the specific bar. So if we go to /001, it should save it as 001. Now obviously once I get to 1,000 bars, then I'm gonna have to rethink the naming convention. Maybe, but I mean, that's pretty far ahead of time. Like if I have like 999 designs, that's pretty crazy. I think organizing them would be much more of a challenge than finding a different way of numbering them. So move to trash. Okay, so we know the specific bar that is going to be passed in here. So that is the bar number. So we know that that is going to be that specific URL. So bar num, so it's going to go to /bar / this specific bar, and then we want to save this as that number and then .jpg. Let's give this a try. So we have 001, try and save that snapshot. Let's also go with 002. Okay, so we save that there as well. Let's jump back over to our storage, thumbnails, and there we go. So now we can see what all those bars look like in a thumbnail view, which is pretty cool. So this is cool too, because now we can actually show the bars in a thumbnail format in this specific page. So if we go to /bars, we could actually show each of the thumbnails, and then as you click on it, it actually shows the bar come down. So how about we create the rest of those screenshots? So we have 00, I think that was 3. Notice how I'm still learning to count. 004. Okay, 005. And then we have 006. So those are the 6 bars that we have right now. Let's take a look at, we have all those thumbnails right here. 006, nice. That is pretty cool. Okay. So then we could go to the, I think it was just the bars.php inside of our resources, views, themes. Where is that file? There we go. Okay, so here we are just listing out the numbers, I think, right? So as you click, yeah, so we just had the key displayed right there. And are we pulling in Tailwind on this? I don't think we are. Let's pull that in. What link style equals, oh my gosh, rel equals style sheet. You can tell how much that I rely on autocomplete. And is that source? Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. Why am I blanking on that? Head, link, rel, href. Oh my gosh, that's what it is. My bad, my bad. Okay, and we need the Tailwind CSS CDN link. Let's see, I like to use this CDN.js. So let's copy this right here and let's paste that in there. And this will allow us to stylize these different thumbnails. So I'm going to say class equals max-w-7xl. I feel like it's just a good container size. We say mx auto, so we want to center that. And then maybe we also want to make this a grid. So we'll say grid columns 12, and we'll say gap of 5. So now we're actually listing out 001 right here. So instead we can actually just say image source, and that is going to be URL. What is that going to be? Our storage URL. I believe that's going to be our app/storage/, although I could get a different way. I could get it from code, but I think I'm just going to hard code that right there. Storage thumbnails / should be 001.jpg. Let me see if that's actually going to show the image. Oh, wrong thing. Okay, so we want to go to /bars. And what do you know? There's each of the thumbnails. Although we probably want to give these some different styles. So let's say class equals col-span-4. So we want 3 of them in a row, because you do 12 divided by 4, and this will be 3 bars. How about we say h of maybe 32? Let's see what that looks like. Okay, that's better. Gap-5. We want to set overflow-hidden. And actually they are going to be all the same size, so we can just say h auto. Okay, pretty good. So maybe we do want the cursor pointer whenever we click on this. So cursor dash pointer rounded LG, and we'll say border gray of 200, and we'll give it a small shadow. So let's reload that. And now you can see as we hover over each one, maybe we want to set a hover border dash blue dash 500. Let's say border dash 2. And I also do want to give this a margin top of, do I want a margin top, or do I just want to center it all? Yeah, let's say class w screen h dash screen item center justify dash center and flex. Okay, this is going to be pretty cool, and this is kind of what we're also going to use as our showcase. So we'll have our header bar up here, and then we'll say like showcase, click on each one to see what the bar looks like. They click on it, and sure enough it shows the bar. And what is going on there? Oh, okay. So this is actually showing the whole bar. So if we go to bar/001, it's actually showing the background and everything on there too. So maybe we need to pass it like a get parameter, like we'll just say background equals, we could say true, and then we include the background. So yeah, let me do that. So if we go back to the layouts/bar.blade.php, and it looks like our time is just about up, but I think we can wrap this up. Okay, so I'm going to say if request get background. So if that specific get parameter is set, then we want to show the background. Otherwise, we just want to show the specific bar. So let's test this out. If we reload this page and we don't have background on there, it does not show. We can then say background equals true, and it will show. So we need to pass this get parameter whenever we capture the snapshot. And that is under bars controller. Is that bar controller? So the URL, we need to add this question mark background equals true, so it actually shows the background for the screenshot. So now if we go back to fancybar.test/bars, we can now see what each of our bars look like, and we can click on it, and boom, it's going to show the bar. If we click it, now we can see what each of those fancy little bars look like. So that's pretty cool. I think that's some good progress as well. This is going to be the thumbnails that we show for the user whenever they click on add new. We're going to have all of these on here that they can preview, and then maybe they'll be able to click on like live preview and it'll pop down. So I think that's pretty much it for this video. It's been a couple days since I recorded the last video, and things are kind of hectic right now. Me and the family are planning a trip from California to Florida. So yeah, we'll be in Florida by next month. It'll be pretty cool. But yeah, let's go ahead and commit this to GitHub, and we'll call it a day. And updates to thumbnails and other stuff. And we'll say git push origin main. Okay, and now if I go to github.com/thedevdojo/fancybar, I then have my tags here, and I've been tagging each one. So this is the 11th video. So we're pretty much going to copy this YouTube link, and we're going to create a new tag or a new release. Call this 0.11. Release title, adding thumbnails, preview for bars. Leave myself a thumbs up for later. And I add the YouTube link, and this is going to be index 11, so I'm going to paste that in there. So this is cool because, like I said, each time I create a new video, I can then go back to the release and watch the video on how I created it. And we will say publish release, and we're good to go. Okay, well, thanks for hanging out with me as we create a software as a service in 30 minutes a day. I hope you guys are doing great, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.